Right, the volume I've put down to 3, so hopefully it works. Added to my other account, so I had to switch it over. That's sorted now. Yeah, I will do. I will do at some point. But I'm online anyway, so it's fine. And I've turned the volume down to 2, so like 2 or 3, so it's there's no way that you will not be heard over the sounds of the Mechachrome V6 engines. But yeah, the stream started. Yeah. Oh, because of some fan zone thing, it's like I don't know. Well, there's the little seasons of the passes or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm the Yuki Tsunoda. Liam, if you're in the chat, Yuki Tsunoda won it, so he's the best driver on the grid. Me and Liam have a little thing where I give him Yuki Tsunoda propaganda and he completely ignores it. It's disappointing. He should genuinely be the one that gets the Red Bull seat, like in the summer break, at least to try him out. Like he's been in the junior team for like 3 years. What's the point if he doesn't? Mm. Yeah, because I suppose he has no. I suppose he has no pressure really, Ricardo. He's like 34. Yeah. Yeah. There we are. There we are. There's the more wheel knowledge than you'd find on 90% of F1 podcasts right here. That's what we would love to see. Can we get some hype in the chat? Can we get some hype in the chat for F2 tonight? We have a very very close fight in store for us. I don't know how many people in this chat watched what was a superb race last week. A superb pair of races. Both races decided on the final corner by less than a tenth. Oh, that's huge. SLR Corey has disconnected before the formation lap, the current championship leader, so is going to have no setup for this race and be unable to qualify. He's not the host. That is. It's lucky in an unlucky situation. Corey is going to be able to get back in, but as far as I'm aware, Park Ferme should be off, which would mean that he is unable to get a setup on. No, Park Ferme should be on. Sorry, that's what I mean. Setup changes should be off, is what I mean. So he would be unable to get a setup. So and be unable to do the one shot. So yeah, that is. It's about the worst possible start for SLR Corey to have. Yeah, the only issue though is just how bad lack of setup's going to be. That's the only trouble. And then, of course, yeah, just not starting from high up. Anyway. Yeah, I do like it. I do love a good special helmet. Sebastian Vettel, but bringing a special helmet to every single race of the season back in like 2013, that was the peak of special helmets. Yeah, I know, because some of them are really cool. Like, I really like Lando Norris's last week. Actually, the little kind of Hungarian trophy-esque design. Anyway, who to go on board with for this session? I'm gonna go with Medal. I think Medal is the favourite for pole. As we're gonna enter turn 1, you want to brake around about 50 meters and hit the car hooked up into turn 1. A lot of rotation from Medal, but he handles it very well as he's now approaching the tricky middle part of sector 1 of turns 2 and 3. This double right-hander is very easy to invalidate. I'm going to get the lap data and the track map up to ensure that we have our sector times and we have our track limit indicator, but it looks like Medal has navigated that cleanly. Purple sector 1 from the MP Motorsport driver driving in the Dennis Hauger car. Of course, driving in the Dennis Hauger car before he was dropped by the Red Bull team, as he's now hurtling through sector 2 using a lot of track there. You want to get as far as you can onto a lot of these curves, I think, at Qatar. And Medal's getting decent rotation. A little bit of a wiggle there, which would have cost him a little bit come the end of sector 2. But at the moment, it does look good. Medal is currently in P1. It's a purple sector 2 as well, apparently, for Medal. But here, this is the easiest part on the track to invalidate. Medal's just got to make sure that he keeps it clean and keeps it on the road. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. So he should have a decent bit of an advantage coming into the final corner. Not too sure what's happening behind him. Looking at potentially UP on reverse grid pole. It could be SLR Dodgy. It could be RSF1 Michael. It could be SLR Corey, whose AI is in P12. But Medal crosses the line. It's a 132.7. Pole by nearly half a second. Wow, what a lap from Medal. BRT Griffiths does get P2 and Race Roller gets P3. Corey's AI gets P12, as a lot of drivers have unfortunately been disqualified due to track limits. Dodgy on reverse grid pole as well. Neither was I. Yeah, that is a mighty lap from Medal. But that is pole position by a considerable margin. I think he's purple in all 3 sectors as SLR Medal, which just goes to highlight how much pace he has around this track. I don't think he's yet got a feature race win, but well and truly could be on the way to that if his pace in the feature race is anything like his pace in quali there. I think it might have been Div 3. I think it might have been Div 3 if I remember rightly. Corey commentated most F2 races, so it's probably Corey. Yeah, he's really quick at this track. But anyway, now the business of the sprint race. We have SLR Dodgy right at the front of this sprint race. And I think he'll be very happy with that. As for Owen Howell, who said that he was definitely going to qualify like P11, but no, he's in P2.
Reverse grid say was P... Oh, 2 seconds.
Yeah, he was P9 in quali.
Oh, sorry about that. Back making a phone call, ringing everything off the line.
But anyway, I think we're going to go in pretty much straight away, we should do. And yeah, front row of Dodgy and Owen is very exciting, I think, for this sprint race. Can either of them spring a surprise and get a potential high-up sprint race finish? 12 laps to deal with in this sprint race. That's quite a long time on these tyres, as we are now underway. No formation lap, of course, and Southerner looks to have a brilliant start. Can Southerner sneak in between Dodgy and Owen? Round the middle, and Southerner has taken the lead. What a fantastic start that was by the Prema driver in this sprint race. Yellow flag, and that is Drac, who has already found himself coming a cropper. But ahead, it is SLR Southerner.
Not just Drac Benster's dropped to the 19th as well, but spin out of the third corner. So one of the championship protagonists is struggling early doors here.
And there's another yellow flag, and that is Owen! Owen from reverse grid P2, or the reverse grid front row, has found himself all the way down in P19 in the first lap. Someone who's gained quite impressively considering his damage, and is already in the points in this sprint race, is SLR Corey. He's got his way ahead of Race Roller, although Race Roller has just gone back past him. In fact, they're battling it out side by side here. It is only for P8 at this current moment, but Corey has absolutely nothing to lose, really, considering his misfortune and lack of setup, potentially. As now Griffiths is trying to make it past Ham, and they're going to try and go side by side in this very tricky section. Ham has to cut the corner to avoid Griffiths, as Griffiths has to run wide to avoid Ham. Yeah, you pretty much can't go side by side there, if I'm being honest. Very, very difficult to go side by side there.
Yeah,
there's another yellow flag.
Understeer to take you into the other car. It's very risky, very ballsy, but Ham was smart there to exceed the track limits. Really get a warning for it, but it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, better than being backwards.
Yes.
And like a few people have been at the start of this lap, at the start of this race, it has to be said.
Definitely more carnage in this lap one than there was last week, so nature of this course, I suppose, this track.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, Qatar is very high speed, very narrow, and a lot fewer overtaking zones, I would say, than Bahrain. Bahrain is probably one of the most plentiful tracks to overtake, as all here could be an interesting battle. Beast has had a poor run out of that double right. Can Griffiths nip it round his outside? Beast brakes too late, and Griffiths says, "Thank you very much, I'll be taking that position," as does Ham. So Beast was trying to brake really late to defend from Toby, and just finds himself going deep and losing another position to SLR Ham as well. A Southerner's broken DRS here. That could be absolutely pivotal to his race. Interestingly, Pluto in the road-in, he's right behind his teammate Dodgy and looks to have a bit better pace than him. But in F2, different to F1, you have to say you're not really obliged to do any kind of team order, really. It's very much every man for himself in the real series, and I think it should say the same on the game, really. Dodgy is fighting in an excellent position here, and well and truly holding his own, it has to be said. The Southern are looking good from the lead.
The big issue for Dodgy here, of course, is the fact that he was just outside of the DRS zone activation point there, so he is going to be under fire big time from Pluto in turn one.
Yeah. DRS is not yet enabled, though, because this is F2, and for some reason it's enabled a lap later than F1, even though
it was in F2 first.
In the F2 rules. Even though it was in F2 first, yep. It makes as much sense to me as it does to you.
Yeah.
As the yellow flag! Ham and Beast have gone! What's happened there with Ham and Beast? I completely missed that into turn one, but both Ham and Beast have dropped down all the way to P14 and P15. They were running really high up, and that's promoted to the likes of Corey and Medal. In fact, I think Corey passed Medal there, which suggests to me that Medal had to take some kind of avoiding action, as Griffiths is trying to fight Pluto, who goes very defensive, brakes a lot later, and stays ahead of Toby.
Yes.
This is just allowing Southerner to break clear, though, and he must be absolutely loving it at the moment. 1.8 seconds the gap between SLR Southerner and SLR Dodgy. Now I think Southerner at this current moment owes Dodgy a massive beer, it has to be said.
He's happy to have his rig on the back, isn't he?
Definitely, but Dodgy's still fighting for his own podium, it has to be said, and fighting very, very well.
South.
Very good defending there. Oh, as Griffiths has a little... I think he taps back at Pluto a little bit and nearly loses it in these fast corners. And something to note as well is that Corey's got a penalty, but the top 7 have broken DRS to Michael and P8. So that might not lose Corey as much as it potentially could have, that 3-second time penalty. But he's got to avoid getting any more. At the moment, he is going to score a couple of points. Oh, this is going to be carnage. 3 wide into turn 1, the 2 Carlins and the PHM of BRT Griffiths. Griffiths locks up. And it looks like Todgy's been passed not by 1, not by 2, but by 3 people in that. And that is just what DRS can do, it has to be said. As Pluto goes wide, that is a fantastic camera shot I've got of Pluto and Griffiths going side by side. Can Pluto keep it in? He's trying to, and has to back out in the end as BRT Griffiths does get the position up into P2. Flying through the field a lot more quickly, it has to be said, than he did at Bahrain. So... yeah, but again, feeling very, very racy this week is BRT Griffiths, it has to be said. Up into P2.
I suppose that top 6, that top 7 is definitely looking racy there. I don't think Dodgy lost those positions on merit. I think he went, yeah, I can see this in about, I'm going to drop back and let those 5 go. And he's now going to stand back coattails. In the wise old fox.
Yeah.
Knows there's
I think so.
carnage to achieve here.
I think Dodgy's very much hoping for points, it has to be said, I would say. That's kind of the sort of fight that Dodgy's usually in, is trying to get a few points here and there. And at the moment, he is set to score 3 points, I believe, because he is within Corey's penalty window.
I reckon he's going to score more than 3. I reckon there, unfortunately, will be something that happens amongst this top 5, top 6 drivers.
Something is going to happen at the moment now, though, as Medal is looking to try and get past SLR Corey, but SLR Corey does have the slipstream of Pluto. So Medal is going to have to try a late braking move into turn 1 here. Can he make the position? Corey is still keeping it on the outside. This is very good, respectful racing for the pair of them. Corey does have the inside line again. Just about leaving Medal enough room. There's a little bit of a squeeze, but Corey does have to open his wheel out, give Medal the room. This is great racing, it has to be said, from the turn. Oh, I spoke too soon. They made contact, and Medal has been sent into a bit of a half spin. It's tough to really judge that because that is a very, very difficult corner to hold it side by side. And there was just the merest of touches between Corey and between Medal. And, well, I mean, you very much predicted it, it has to be said. There would be something that happened, and Dodgy has gone up a couple of places. The wise old fox, as you said. That is... what's the opposite of a commentator's curse? Because that is absolutely... You've hit the nail on the head there.
It's quite a rare thing for commentators to do, but I can try and not jinx them. I'm normally worse cast than Diesel is in the queuing, so I'm trying to stay stuck for the most part. Yeah.
I think I cursed about 3 Div 3 drivers in about 2 minutes last week, so I'm feeling up. I'm feeling up there.
To be honest, with the conditions as they were, I think no curse or whatnot stuff was going to happen last week. That was hideous.
Oh, battle for the lead. Southerner has just been overtaken by BRT Griffiths. It doesn't look like Southerner really had the tools to fight that too much. He's lost P2, and once again, Dodgy's been overtaken by a couple of drivers in DRS. But once again, he's going to sit back, and once again, are we going to see some more carnage? Possibly.
I think Medal's definitely going to get through. They'll be gritting his teeth a bit after the incident with Corey, which I do wonder did Roller play a part in because he was right on the gearbox of the pair of them. So any decrease in speed, he may have given him a tip tap as well.
Yeah.
But
I didn't have the best view of it, unfortunately.
No,
so
the cameras were sweeping.
It's one to have to look at.
And changing all the time. I'm sure I'll probably see it again later or tomorrow. So. Get a good look at it.
Yeah. Thankfully for Medal, he is still decently in this race, and it does look like, to be honest, as expected, that him and Race Roller have better pace than Corey. Corey, of course, unable to run a setup, so is struggling quite a bit. But I'll tell you who isn't struggling at the moment, and keeping very much in the DRS of BRT Griffiths, is one SLR Southerner. SLR Southerner looking very good at the moment.
Tell you what.
He needs to keep in that DRS to be able to defend from Pluto, and he needs to keep in that DRS if he wants a chance at retaking Griffiths for the race lead.
I've got to say, I've
We
just
are
watched
entering
him
the end of
overtake
lap
by
6.
medal on race roll around the outside of those triple right-handers, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the medal absolutely taking no prisoners and having a great race so far.
As you said, he likes the track and it's clearly showing.
It definitely is showing. He's now getting in the DRS of Corey. And does Medal potentially have an outside chance at a podium here if potentially one of the top 3 has a little bit of a moment? Because this top 3 very much is not separating, it has to be said.
Who's that guy?
There's a yellow flag again. Owen.
Again.
It's Owen.
Owen spins. Yeah. Need we say more?
Yeah, unfortunate for Owen.
I think Medal has a good chance here, not just because he might obviously hoping on having a spin or something. He's going to dispatch Corey here quite quickly because of the lack of setup. And Medal is. What are you saying?
Midzi and Dodgy battling side by side. Midzi makes a very excellent, very clean move on Dodgy. Bent's just trying to nip his way through again. Remember, Bentster had that spin early on. Dropped down to P18 and he's lunged it on Dodgy.
And now comes Ham. What a list, what a trio of player drivers that come on through against Dodgy.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Dodgy is probably currently internally screaming to himself about what is happening at the moment. As unfortunately for Southerner, he has now lost DRS to Griffiths, which could allow Pluto to potentially have a go. It's really tough to find out where to look, to be honest. There's overtakes happening everywhere. Pluto up on the Southerner. Medal on Corey.
Roller might follow through.
Could Race Roller nip it by? Yeah, could he nip it past him? Could he have a go?
I think he will into one of the next few corners. Rollers like to look here through the first sector, so. Here we go around the outside.
Yeah, around the outside.
Corey defends.
And Corey keeps the position. But Roller is still trying to nip it up there. And I don't think there was ever going to be an opportunity for Roller to go alongside Corey there. That would have been very ambitious. But they're still fighting it out, and I think Roller just sold Corey the dummy here. Oh. He has well and truly sold Corey the dummy and has taken the position. Nice. I love those kind of overtakes. They are very satisfying.
They are indeed.
And Roller up into P5, sorry. And Midzi up into P7 as well. So Midzi potentially had a lot of pace, just got that invalidation, because he has flown through the field as the Trident driver, looking like the Midzi that we'd expect a little bit more, it has to be said, rather than the Midzi that we saw at Bahrain. And yeah, he's having a fantastic sprint race at the moment.
He is indeed. Pulling Benster along as well there.
Yeah.
Again,
from what I've seen, and they usually... I jinxed it. I jinxed it. He's just picked up a 3-second time penalty, as has Ham as well. Yellow flag in sector 1, that is Drac once again.
As it stands, Corey really isn't going to be any points for this sprint race.
Yeah, he just needs to hope that he can stay in the coattails of Race Roller. If he's got any hope of scoring points, as Benster's now taking the position on Midzi. Up to P7. Yeah, Corey as it stands is going to drop below Benster, he's going to drop below Night Owl, but he's not going to drop below Midzi or Ham. So I think he might just about get 1 point. But Dodgy could end up in his penalty window if things go awry. And Midzi could still beat him on track as well. We mustn't forget that. Midzi is in a DRS train that is currently headed by the VAR driver of SLR Corey. And you do have to feel for Corey with that issue, leading the championship before today, and he's going to score very few points, it has to be said, this race weekend, which is really going to hurt the championship charge. And Benster, wow, gone past Corey pretty much instantly, and Corey's picked up another penalty. So that is the definition of curtains, unfortunately.
You need to put your attention to the front of the field quickly, to P4. Medal has managed to take about a second, if not closer to 2 seconds, out of Southerner and Pluto in this lap alone.
Oh, bloody hell, Medal was flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Medal wants that. He wants that sprint race podium. He could potentially get as high as P2 here, as he's in the DRS and slipstream of Southerner. Southerner does have DRS himself, but Medal has a really good run here. Is he going to try and brake a bit later than the Prema driver? We have seen moves in a bit unorthodox spots, as I'm having a look now at Midzi, who's just got past Corey. Ham's also got past Night Owl. Yellow flag in sector 3, I think that's Drac.
Medal's...
Here we are. Can Medal have a go in this double right? That would be a bit brave.
As I already said, he's done one overtake through the triple right-hander, so that was easier. Oh, he's going to look down the inside here,
Yeah.
isn't he?
This has been a favoured overtaking spot from a lot of drivers. Oh, Medal has a little bit of a snap. He really should give that place back to Southerner. He really should give it back, if I'm being honest. He had a little bit of... He has. Yep, fair play, Medal.
So
That's... Yep.
I was biting my lip there thinking, I'm not going to speak.
Yeah, Medal had a little bit of a snap mid-corner, and that just sent Southerner wide. Nothing malicious whatsoever, but he has given the place back to the Prema driver, so that is good driving from Medal.
It has allowed Pluto to drop them by 2 seconds now.
Yeah,
So, Medal,
but it's
should
better
be
than
at 70,
it's better than potentially risking an instant report with the Prema driver.
Yeah.
Has to be said, but he is potentially going to get him this lap anyway, so might end up being worth absolutely mute. He's going to have to just hope that his DRS catapults him a bit further towards Pluto.
I think he might get.
And you have to
Pluto
say,
off pace
really,
alone.
well, we are on the penultimate lap now, so he's going to have to close a lot to try and get in his DRS. But it is possible. We've seen stranger things happen. And looking at Corey, he's dropped down to P9. Yeah, that is just
He's got his good
not the
friend,
one.
Good friend Joseph just behind him.
Who's that? Sorry.
Night Owl. That is Joseph, isn't it? Or am I dreaming?
A night owl.
Or is that? Or am I mixing two people up here?
Nah, Joseph's someone completely different.
I mean, you're saying
Night
that
Owl's
it
just
was
Night
impossible for Medal. He is very, very close to that DRS window as it is. Taking 4 steps out so far. Got another 10th in half lap.
Yeah, but these corners are very, very quick corners, so there's not really a lot of time to be gained or lost. But Medal is trying to send it and trying to do it anyway.
He's found it.
Looks like he's got the track about 3 times, but maybe the track limits is a bit more lenient than we think it is. And he's found so much time there as Medal. That is crazy. He's going on now to the start-finish straight, start the final lap. Up in P1, it's been a very quiet one, a bit of a BRT Griffiths win of old, it has to be said. But behind him, it's an easy move into turn 1 for SLR Medal, up into P2. Further back, Benson's just nipped past Race Roller. Corey's got Night Owl. And the two tridents of Midzi and Ham are potentially going to battle it out for P7 and P8, which could end up being for the final point, as Night Owl is just about within their DRS, I think. It's pretty close, but he could be.
Well, it's not about for P7, P8, it's about for P6, really. If they can go on rollers... further along.
Midzi and Ham have a penalty. He has a penalty, so... It's Night Owl trying to send it on Corey. Corey just dropped back. I don't know what's going on with Corey. I don't know if he's having equipment issues or I don't know what's happening with Corey, but he's
got into his own head.
He looks like he's almost given up. Anyway, I'm now switching back as there's just 2 corners to go to our race leader, BRT Griffiths. It has to be said, he was the bridesmaid for each of the events last week. P2 in qualifying, P2 in the sprint, P2 in the feature. But he's a race winner once again. BRT Griffiths, it did not take long whatsoever. is on the top step of the podium in the sprint race. SLR medal in P2, I believe claiming the fastest lap at the end as well. Pluto in P3, Southerner in P4, Benster P5. Good showing from the Pramers. Race Roller P6, Ham P7, Midzi P7, Ham P8. That is 2 points for Midzi, 1 point for Ham. Much needed points for the Tridents. Night Owl down in P9, and then Dodgy ends up in P10. Corey all the way down in P16, which is not.
I think we might see Corey
what he
retire
wanted
in the
at all.
future. I think he's going to hit and retire quite early.
We'll have to see. But anyway, it is BRT Griffiths in P1 for this race.
The points he needed.
That is definitely
he
the
needs
points
to
he needed.
capitalise on this race with Corey's issues.
Yeah, and with the pace that Medal's been showing as well, with that fastest lap at the end too, I think he needs to
make sure he gets the strategy right, that is for sure, on the race, because he might only be fighting for P2. Medal has the potential, I can't believe I'm saying this against Griffiths, to run off into the distance. There's something that we've not said for a very long time when it comes to Griffiths and the F2 cars. That someone has the possibility of this track specifically to leave him in the dust.
Indeed. Medal got the fastest lap on him by 0.6 of a second as well. It was aided by DRS, but that is scary hours, it has to be said, if you're BRT Griffiths. Those points were much needed. Although Medal still scored more over the course of the weekend with that fastest lap and that pole position. So
Medal's just wanted to remind us that he is still here. He is definitely in the fight for the championship. Not just
he was third overall last week. He finished third in the main race. I think he finished like fourth in the sprint as well. Like, he had a pretty solid showing. Just he was only 0.2 off the win himself. He wasn't slow whatsoever at Bahrain. But my word, when you say Qatar, SLR Medal says hello, and yeah, he's rapid.
Are we running on the F1 calendar this year, are we?
Are we running Qatar?
Yes, we are.
If he races, he's got I think he's got something else that he sometimes does on Sundays now. But yeah, we do have Qatar and McEwen. Anyway, who do you think's going to win the sprint race? No, the main race. Sorry, we know who won the sprint.
I'm rubbing up on you. My
Who's going to win the feature
professionalism
race?
is really quick. Well, there's only one person to win that medal. Yeah.
You reckon Griffiths won't get close? Because I think Griffiths, it's impossible to write him off. He did win that race by like 4 seconds. Like, he cleared off from Pluto as well. So it's not.
I've got to say, that top 5 is scary. That top 5 could potentially go to the TRS train all by themselves. I mean, top 6, top 7 potential. Especially if Roller starts on the softs, that will throw a real spanner in the works. Surely you've got to start on the hard tier, haven't you? Surely you don't want to say.
Yeah. Usually you want to do the alternate strat on F2, just because it's just general track positioning and stuff, and then also as well, the softer tyres usually work better on a lighter fuel load.
Mm-hmm.
But like because the issue is if you go softs and you just get caught behind the hard runners, you're not using your softs very well. Right. So whereas when you charge through later on in the race, you're going to be charging through on a bit more of an empty grid. So a bit more of a spread out grid kind of, because that's usually what happens after the pit stop phases. So I'm expecting most drivers on the hard compound tyre. to be honest. It's a bit of a shame that the regular strat isn't a bit more powerful in F2, because I know you see a real mix in real life, and it would be good if that kind of was highlighted. You need the Haas to basically have like minimal wear, because that's what they are. That's what they're like in real life. They kind of just barely drop off. So
who knows? They might introduce that obviously with the new cars later on in the year.
Actually, I say that it did kind of drop. It did. They did barely drop off because Medal set the fastest lap in the last lap.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, about 1 minute to go until the ready up time for the feature race. Blaze has commented, Griffiths washed, question mark. He did just win the sprint race, mate. He did, like, I don't really know if washed is the correct word I would use for Griffiths at the moment. Blaze in the stream.
Blaze.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I agree with that one. But we'll see. Oh, and interestingly, this is interesting. I didn't notice this. F2 they have like Formula 2 pit garages on the game, rather whereas I'd have thought they'd have just used like the normal F1 pit garages because they're usually in a support race. But no, we've got our own little special F2 pit garages.
Well, the pit
F2
garages
it's like F2's a standalone event.
It's almost like EA
rather than
EA
another feeder series.
watching a bloody race weekend.
Yeah, it should just be a normal pit garage. It just seems like extra effort for nothing because it's not realistic. Anyway, it's now 8:34, which means
We can stop
we should be getting
rambling.
time for racing soon.
If people can stop turning off what music.
Yeah, this is
going on about.
This is pure waffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, fire lights!
Go!
And it's out, and we are away. Looks like Griffiths has got a marginally better start than Medal. This is crucial. He needs to take the lead here if Medal has the pace that we believe. And he's got his teammate potentially as a rear gunner. Medal tries to hold it around the outside. Griffiths on the inside. Medal has a little bit of a slide, a little bit of a correction. Could Griffiths' teammate, Race Roller, make it a PHM 1-2? No, Medal holds firm and stays in P2. But what a start that was from BRT Griffiths. He needed that. And Blaze has made the stream chat person's curse rather than the commentator's curse with that thus far. Although maybe he's going to be washed and drop loads of time to Medal later on in this race. Further down the field, Ham has made a mega start up to P4. He's meaning business. And you're talking about there being a bit of a strong top 5. Ham is certainly someone that you can't count out in a strong race, as Michael, I think, has dropped down a bit as well. But yeah, Griffiths absolutely flying off the line.
Yeah.
And has got 8 tenths to Medal.
Yeah, I think he must have been listening to my comments and going, yeah, I'm proving him wrong. He's got the slam.
And further down the field, there's carnage between Southerner, Dodgy, Michael and Corey. Corey really struggling to find anywhere to go. Stuck behind the Invicta racing car of Michael. As Michael goes wide, and that's surely a warning.
Michael and Dodgy, two of our 5 soft runners to start here. Roller did change onto the hards in the end, as expected.
As now Corey nips it up the inside of Michael. So Corey looking to get that solitary point at this current moment. And it looks like he's got mega straight line speed. Maybe the default setup's really quick on the straight line. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't know either. I barely touched the F2 cars on this game.
He's looking further down. Oh, Midsy's gone round. After a really good sprint, he's now down in plumb last in the feature race.
Still plenty of time. 15 laps to go. Safety cars, the works. Anything can happen.
Further up the field, it looks like Griffiths and Medal are threatening to break the DRS on Race Roller. So Roller needs to get a move on, really, it has to be said. Ham is looking closer to him than he's looking to Medal. Ham's looking far closer to him. So Race Roller at the moment struggling a little bit if he wants to potentially contend for the race lead.
You say
as Griffiths and Medal
now
look very
back
quick.
into it.
Indeed, he is. But this third sector is where Medal is absolutely mighty. And and the detection zone is just after the penultimate corner, so...
As you said, watching this line through here, how is he not picking up more warnings? Has he must have been putting the practice in to find the sweet spot for the corner cars.
Yeah, I think he must have. And I think he has just broken DRS as well, as Roller flies off track a bit. So that's quite important at the moment for Medal. Could end up being a two-horse race between him and BRT Griffiths for the race victory. Griffiths will kind of be hoping that Race Roller is there potentially for a little bit of teamwork if necessary. So maybe Griffiths will maybe slow down a little bit, make sure Roller gets in the DRS. Although potentially he might just want to secure at least P2 in this race. But yeah.
Do you really think the pair of them will work together? As you were saying earlier, that it's not as the same thing in F2.
I don't know, I think they think the constructors will be nice, but I mean the priority is going to be the drivers for them. We are being realistic. Yes, I do agree.
And to be honest, I don't think Griffiths can afford to back up with Medal chomping at the bit behind him. If he starts throwing back in, what that's going to put him under
Good point.
Real risk. Because if Medal can be within, 4/10 as he almost is now, he's going to breeze past once DRS is activated.
Yeah, although it's not closing on him massively, really. He's closed in on him. He's quicker than Griffiths, but it's not by that same margin that he was closing in on Pluto. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Who's gone round? Dodgy. Is Corey gone as well? I think Corey had a bit of a moment. Just a couple of seconds, I think. But here, this is the crucial DRS activation point. Has Roller got DRS?
Is it a lap 2?
I think he has. No, it's on lap. We're on lap 3 now, so it will be DRS enabled. So Roller does indeed have DRS, and here we are. Griffiths pressured by SLR Medal, and that is an easy overtake for P1. Michael's in already.
Speed, that's
better than pit lane.
Retirement. Is it?
Or maybe he's just going for an early stock softs burnout. I don't know. Anyway, what Roller getting that DRS has meant is that we now have a 5-person DRS train. P1 all the way to P5. Who's the biggest winners, actually? I didn't do that in the sprint. I usually like doing the biggest winners. Well, Ham, obviously, is... Oh, no, Ham started in P4.
Biggest winner is
Com is the biggest winner.
On his debut.
Yeah. Com was quite quick, and I'm not surprised at all to see him in that P11 position in and around Owen. That's sort of the pace that he was showing in F1 cars, was around about that Owen beast mark, and he's showing that in F2 cars, so fair play, Com, on your debut. Very good stuff. I'll give him a little bit of screen time as well, actually, because he's right on the back of Owen. Battle for the final point at the moment.
No, that's not Cass Hughes shall not be named as well. Doing it.
That's the who shall not be named. That's a Diesel thing, isn't it? Anyway. Com using all of the track. He's using the medal lines. And that's a sign that he's quick. If he's using the SLR medal lines. Speaking of medal, that's the fastest lap. That's not really a surprise, if we're being honest. That's gets those fastest laps for breakfast. But speaking of breakfast, is Com going to eat Owen alive like breakfast and get that P10 spot? Owen doesn't really defend the inside line. Com sweeps past him up into P10. Good move.
That was an easy move, wasn't it? Owen yielded that one. Better in the long game.
Yep. Oh! I was looking ahead to someone who doesn't look like they're playing a long game at the moment. Is SLR Ham. He's had a little bit of a wobble as he's pushing really hard. And that's allowing Benster, yeah. And these two are now potentially finding themselves outside of that main DRS train that's headed by SLR Medal. Medal getting that gap up, it has to be said as well. So Griffiths is going to have to do a lot of work if he wants to stay in and keep himself within that fight for the race victory. It does look like Medal is threatening to waltz off into the distance, and I think if he had led from the start, then he would have done. because he wouldn't have had that DRS to worry about. But yeah, this is rapid stuff, and that's a penalty for Ham.
It's a huge penalty.
Oh, 9/10 of a second. 9/10 of a second it is. It is now. Ham has lost DRS.
Interesting run of ball with Griffiths there. He's trying to push it, watching the lines that Medal's taking through the triple right-hander and trying to emulate him to an extent. I think he's realised how much you can gain and lose there. If he didn't already know, of course, he might have done, but...
Indeed, as looking further down the field, Beast Assassin has just got past Southerner. Owen has re-overtaken. Oh, they're battling! They're battling for that final point, Com and Owen. Owen trying to keep it up the inside. Com leaving him the space. Nicely done from the pair of them at the moment. This is great fighting. It has to be said.
Preview of what we're going to see tomorrow night.
Yeah, hopefully. They both look very evenly matched at the moment. And Com's going to potentially have a go. He's not going super recklessly either. That's good to see. He's not letting that kind of debut excitement get the better of him. I think, oh, me must lunge.
F2 cars, which are very hard to bring down the speed when you are trying to battle like this. But he's obviously got the experience of being in them.
Yeah, I think it definitely looks like he has, and I think whoever gets this point, it'll be a very well-earned point. Speaking of well-earned, Corey's managed to find himself in the DRS of Southerner. Oh, Owen's picked up a penalty, so that makes life a bit easier for Com. Also, I'm going to look at the race leaders because the lapped car who's just coming out the pits, just come out in turn 1, and...
I think that's the retirement car.
It is the retirement car. And Roller has to take evasive action of it. Or Corey's going to try and have a go at Beast at Southerner. Southerner tried to hold it around the outside there, but to be honest, I think Corey was more than had enough for Southerner to have to kind of back out there. I think that was maybe a little day late and $1 short from the Prema driver, and Corey takes 2 positions in 1 lap.
So maybe that's default setup isn't as bad as we were anticipating. He may not be able to get up to the dizzy heights of the podium, but he can try and claw something out of this race.
Yeah, you have to say that if Corey was in this race, he would absolutely be in this lead trio, making a lead quartet. Like, that is Corey's real pace, but I think this at the moment is an exercise in damage limitation. If Corey can seal that P7 potentially, which is what it looks like it's going to be at the moment, Pluto is going to be a stretch and Ham's going to be a massive stretch, then I think he would be very happy with that. And looks like Griffiths and Medal have dropped Race Roller, partly I think because of that lapped car, to be honest. Partly because of that lapped car. Because Race Roller did have to take evasive action.
He's also lost 3 tenths to Benster in the 3rd sector, so Roller had a moment somewhere.
Oh, and switcheroo for the lead as well. Griffiths, learning from Medal, learning to take his lines, has clearly found some pace from somewhere. Has worked out, oh, this is what you're doing. This is how you go quick. I will do this as well. And has found lap time. That's a sign of a good driver, it has to be said. Someone who's learning off what their rivals are doing. Because we saw that in Silverstone with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, and especially Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, as those further behind, when it got near the rain, were a lot more quick.
Yes.
Because they could see what the drivers ahead of them were doing.
Ham is really struggling with that that chicane there at the end of the start of the 2nd sector. He nearly lost it twice on power there for Benson to get past it in 1 moment.
Yeah, but at the moment Benster is still ahead. Looking further up the grid, looks like Medal is being able to follow Griffiths very closely. And Roller's closed back in a little bit, it has to be said. So Roller can live with Griffiths' pace, but he can't live with Medals, is what we're concluding. Is this maybe? I think it's a clear indication of who the quickest driver is, but not necessarily the quickest driver wins the race. We've seen that with Lando Norris a lot of the times this season, it has to be said. Where absolutely a couple of times, I mean Spain notably, and then I'll say in Silverstone as well, the fastest driver on that day did not win the race. And maybe that's what Griffiths is kind of banking on. He's banking on his experience. He's banking on him having the most wins in F2 history to try and get this done.
He definitely could. It's going to come down to that pit stop. Obviously, looking at when all the soft tyres went, the soft drivers pitted a minute ago, or lap 4, lap 5, you're getting barely any laps out of those soft tyres. Also, these guys running lower fuel, they might stretch to 6. It could be a big risk, but you see Godzilla's pit now, they give it a go.
Yeah, I think Godzilla's going to be... I think he's going to get a puncher at the end of the race, to be honest, on those softs. We'll have to see if that comes to fruition, but given how much the hards wore in the first race, I heard some people say that they were on like near puncture territory or well in puncture territory. Suggests that those soft compound tyres are going to be even worse.
Yeah. Especially a track like Qatar with so many high-speed corners. Yeah, so we might end up seeing these hard tyres go to that 13. Probably 13.
Oh, Corey's picked up a time penalty. And that could really cost him in his fight with Southerner and Beast. He's almost broken the DRS, but crucially he hasn't. And if he wants to gap them by 3 seconds, well, the first task of that's the DRS. Speaking of DRS, Medal and Griffiths. I thought Griffiths would potentially have a go, but he didn't this time.
He lifted, took the DRS off and just lifted.
Owen sped in the pit lane. That's not good. That's pretty much ruined all of his chances of getting a point. Because 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. A lot more brutal than the penalty was last game. And we'll see him in real trouble. But lap 10, I would say this is realistically when the pit window opens for the hard compound runners to switch onto a set of soft tyres.
What is the best strategy in F2? Is it undercut or overcut?
Well, Corey won with the overcut last week, passing Griffiths on the last corner, but I would say, realistically, part of that was Corey making excellent overtakes, being very risky.
It was a very risky overtake from Griffiths at the last itself.
Well, and his overtake on Medal as well was fantastic as well. It was around the outside, I think, of turn 11 and turn 12. I think is where he passed him. So I would say that undercut's probably the best. I'd say lap 10 is the one you want to box. So we'll have to see, do both the top two do that? Yes, they do. Leaving Race Roller as the one who's going to stay out.
Spencer pits too.
So Race Roller forced to do an extra lap, as he is in that PHM car as well. So I'll have to see whether there are any changes in the pit lane. Pluto also staying out, as does Southerner, because Benster has pitted as well.
Yeah, you can't double stack an F2 car, so the pit stop is, what, 5-6 seconds is the average stop?
Yeah, I think in the game it's about 4.5.
Okay.
I believe. But this will be interesting coming out the pits. Who's going to get their tyres fired up the best out of our two race leaders? Coming out the pits now, Medal and Griffiths.
We have seen a couple of the guys who've already pitted spin on the pit exit. They've tried a bit too much. These have all done it well. No rears lighting here. No spins here.
Oh, it's looking as well. Could be a little bit out of battle on the pit exit between Corey and Beast. It looks like Beast has just about got ahead of Corey on the pit exit, but Corey's going to have those fresher tyres.
Oh, and he nearly
all important.
Back of him though.
Yeah, but at the moment you can see kind of he's losing time initially. I think that's due to the tyre warm-up. Tyre warm-up phase, F2, there are no tyre blankets, which is quite important. They are still quicker than those old hards, but Once you get them warmed up, they gain a significant amount of time.
So as the
But
little...
will we see Griffiths being aggressive and try and making a move on Medal early here, or will we see...
I think he'll over the DRS.
Punisher, I think, is retired in the pit lane, unfortunately. And our remaining 3 drivers have had to come into the pits now. But here we are then, on board with our driver in effective P2, and I think he might have been trying to go for an overtake on that lap. He's had a massive slide out the final corner. That won't do his tyres any favours, and it won't do his hopes of trying to overtake Medal any favours either. As further down, Race Roller
has lost massive.
He's lost out a position to Ham. He's lost out a position to Benster as well. He's down in P5 because of that 1 lap overcut. He must have made a mistake on his out. Either he made a mistake on his in lap, or just that out lap was absolutely, or that undercut was just absolutely massive. But he's lost out hugely as Race Roller. Pluto's also lost out significantly as well. He was a few seconds ahead of Corey, and now Corey's potentially going to get in his DRS. Maybe have a go on him.
It was the middle sector. Sector 2, Ham and Benster were, 6-7 tenths quicker than Roller.
Yeah, that's the new tyre effect.
And they went low 28s in Sector 3, whereas Roller was doing the high 28s into the low 29s on the hards for the previous laps.
Yeah. Just shows the power of the undercut. But can Roller fight back? He's going to need to try and put in the best laps of his life. He's going to want to get P3 back from Benster. And that is the trouble of Race Roller, of course, being in that same team as Toby. But at the moment, it looks like Toby's got he's feeling a little bit more comfortable than Medal on these softs. We saw him have that little moment. But now he's going to go for the race lead. Yeah. So there's 4 laps remaining, 13, 14, 15 and 16. BRT Griffiths has taken the race lead.
Yeah, taking the race lead. Medal's already looking to try and put him off, get back past.
Wow, Corey set the fastest lap of the race. Where's that come from? I didn't expect that. If you'd have said any driver to expect getting the fastest lap, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd have said Corey. No. And Medal and Griffiths are fighting it out pretty hard here, so both of them could potentially end up losing the chance of getting that fastest lap over Corey.
The thing is, they just lost 4 tenths of Benster through that one little squabble there. They can't battle too hard because those behind will get involved.
Yeah, Benster's not a million miles away, and I mean, just one little mistake and a penalty for either of these drivers, and suddenly Benster's potentially in the penalty range of them as well. It's not a safe gap whatsoever.
And of course, Roller's going to 1 lap pressure tyres. I think one lap pressure tyres.
He's quite considerably further back though. He's lost a lot of time.
Never say never.
Yeah, someone has picked up a penalty. So, looking at this, pretty much all of the battle for the lower end of the points is being pretty much completely equalised due to penalties, has to be said. As Benson's gaining even more time here, at an absolutely mighty lap, could even be fastest lap overall from Benster. It's not, but Medal retakes the lead. And maybe Griffiths and Medal have gone, oh shit, Benster's just gained like half a second. We maybe need to chill a bit here. Because they're just gonna want this to be a straight fight to the end of the race.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, and speaking of straight fight, Corey potentially having a go on Pluto here. Corey does have that time penalty, so doesn't really need to fight this. But then he's got a bit of a gap behind, so it doesn't really matter if he does, because it looks pretty safe that he's going to get that P7. Touch wood. I mean, anything can happen, but yeah. What do you reckon? Our championship leader before today, do you reckon he'd be happy with that P7 in this race?
I don't think he... Depends what mindset he's looking at. If he's looking at this as damage limitation and what's happened, then yes, he'd be happy, but it's Corey. He'd be wanting the win regardless. I think he's going to be annoyed regardless with it. Just ticked off at the game for kicking him out at the worst possible time so he could put a setup on and qualify. Something to note though, yes, obviously talking about penalties. The top three are all on 2 warnings.
Oh, that is important. Oh, Owen's gone. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. He was fighting for a point. And yeah, that's... He's had a moment. As Owen. And has spun. As Midsy's picked up a penalty. I'm sure that's not his first either.
No, there are a
yeah,
few on double
6 seconds.
penalties.
Oh, I forgot about Owen's pit lane as well.
Yeah.
Never mind. He wasn't really in contention of points anyway, but he would have liked to have tried to get P10 on track with pride. And looking, one of the closer battles, in fact the closest battle, Race Roller and Ham. Race Roller on those fresher tyres needs to dispatch of Ham very quickly, although he is running out of laps here. He really is running out of laps.
A lap and a half to go.
There's only one more lap after this. I don't really think Benster's position is in too much jeopardy, to be honest.
Benster has been dropping back from the front too. Is that tyres have gone already? Of course, Ham's somewhat matching Benster. Rolling his past, has he got enough tyre life to...
Yeah.
2 seconds? Probably not, but we can only dare to dream.
Oh, and I tell you what, we're going to have a titanic battle going on to the final lap here between Medal and Griffiths for this race victory. This is what we came here to see. Griffiths has been able to hold him the medal. He's got the advantage of having that DRS going on to the final lap, but as we know, moves are not necessarily done until right at the line. Medal is going super defensive here. Here we go. Medal going defensive, but Griffiths sneaks it all the way to the inside. He gets back, but can Medal get a little bit of a run on? He's trying it all the way around the outside, but Griffiths covers it off just about as that trap position. Medal trying to get the momentum round the outside of turn 2 and potentially turn 3. He keeps his nose in. Griffiths does leave him the space. And they are fighting this hard but fair. Medal is on the inside here. They nearly bang wheels, but they're just about okay. Griffiths has got a time penalty for making contact. Potentially, that could just be moment of the battle, and that could get removed. So I think that is not Medal home dry, it has to be said. Griffiths could still get that penalty removed, and I think he's going to fight this as if he does not have that 3 second. He does not have that 3 second as the battle rages on. We've got 1 sector to go here. I would definitely battle this as if I didn't have the pen. It's just 0.2 of a second going on to the final sector. We know Medal's been mighty here, but Griffiths has been mighty everywhere. He's won the sprint race. He's in the slipstream. He needs to absolutely send it around these final few corners, but at the moment it looks like Medal's just about got the pace on him. Griffiths using all of the track that he possibly can, but Medal looks like he's just got that little bit of an edge. 1 corner to go here, and could this be a first ever feature race win for SLR Medal in SLR? 1 more corner to go. Medal, a little bit of a wiggle on exit, but it doesn't look like it matters. SLR Medal is your race victor here today. BRT Griffiths in P2. Benster is going to get P3 with Race Roller in P4.
And now
Ham is
for the fun of
coasting
working
to
out who finishes
P5.
where with these penalties. Scattergraph
And
time.
Corey comes home in P6, but it looks like he's going to get dropped down to P7 because of Pluto's lack of penalties. Yes, he is. Southern a P8, Beast P9, and Com P10. Blimey, they were close to the line. Com had 1 more penalty than Beast, so it didn't really matter. Rundle in P11, Midsy in P12. Coldzilla has not got a puncture, I was wrong. Well done, Coldzilla, for saving the tyres. Oh, he does have a puncture. He must have got it right at the end there, because he looked like he was going normal racing speed. He's got a puncture right at the end of the race. And look at this night owl. Is it just me that sees that he's got a hard tyre on his front left tyre? What on earth?
Has he got the Mercedes pit crew from Kia freaking a few years ago?
Or that Williams pit crew from Spa way back as well. Yes. This is another one. That is bizarre. Anyway, you don't see that every day. but it is SLR Medal who gets the victories. Corey said sorry, so you might be busy. Roller said he got a puncture at 75%.
Ooh.
Oh, is that why he lost time? Did he get? Did he mean puncture on the first stint? Is that why he dropped back a little bit? Did he get a puncture at the end of his
That would make
hard
sense
maybe?
because surely he was pushing. There's no way he would have been the ones that get a puncture on the soft tyres.
Yeah, he was. Let's have a look. So on his pit stop lap, he did a 37.4 final sector. Benson did a 34.9. Griffiths a 35.1 in the same team. So yeah, he lost 2.8 seconds because of that puncture.
Wow.
And yes, that did cost Roller the podium, or at least a shot at the podium, because it has to be said he would have been right with Benster. So that is frustrating stuff, but it is still P4, and it is. But that does mean it's P4 overall, as it's Medal, Griffiths, Benster are our top three. It's my Medal's the pie, it's like Griffiths the pie, and it's like Benster the pie.
You probably got them well anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, that was a great race to watch. Great battling on the last lap, it has to be said, between Medal and Griffiths. Griffiths, I think, could have definitely been a bit more aggressive than he was, but I think we do love a bit of fair racing, and yeah, that was certainly good to watch.
Yes, it was very good to watch. It was harsh. So the way he got the penalty there with the two of them side by side, slightest of touches, knocked him off track and got it. I think he might have maybe tried harder if he didn't have that penalty, to be honest.
Yeah. Although, as I said, that is the kind of one that could potentially
be lifted,
be removed, be lifted. You're not going to take that chance if you're either of the drivers.
No.
And let's find out their thoughts anyway. We'll start off with Benster, who had a bit of a quieter race. It has to be said, in P3, but once again, Benster, you found yourself in the podium interviews, and this time was the third highest scoring driver. Another solid round.
Yeah, I mean, these podium interviews are what I live for. So as long as I can keep getting here, that's my week made.
That's what we love to see.
But yeah,
I don't know if sarcasm, but that's what we love to see.
No, I do enjoy these. To be fair, it seems to be the only league that does interviews anymore. So it's nice to see how the race went. Even if I didn't get to see much of it. Yeah, sprint. I mean, can you get off to a much worse start? Falling straight down to second last at turn 2. I'm not sure. Maybe damage would have topped it, but yeah, not ideal. I think we were 3 wide, and then all of a sudden I had the AHM firmly in the side of us, and that was sort of my chances ruined. Recovery right from there, sort of back up slowly, surely. Made advantage of a couple of spins around. There's quite a few spins that I drove past, and I was welcoming that. So finished just behind Southern on the end, so cheeky frame of 4.5, and then yeah, main race, very quiet one. Nice battle with Ham for the first few laps until the stop, and then undercut race roller. But I mean, I wanted to pit later, but hard hit 75, and I didn't want to puncture, so I had to take the hit. Went on to the softs. Realised about 3 laps from the end that probably wasn't going to make it on his either, so just started cruising on the quick right hand just to try and save the front left, and it hit 80 by the end. So I was just praying that Toby on Medal had a massive crash, and then I could have stolen another position there, but it was like a great battle anyway. So I would congratulate Medal, but he's obviously too cool for interviews now. He's won, so yeah.
Yeah, those egos really starting to develop.
Yeah.
No, on the serious note, he said he's just restarting his PC quickly, and then he'll join it.
But he's on Xbox.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Anyway, well, you Toby.
He's turning his hacks off on the PC. That's why he's restarting it.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, nice solid drive again from Benzer, and I've to say as well, just solid consistency, has to be said. That's seems to be the name of the game at the moment.
Yeah.
And it sounded like someone else was the one that got shafted in the pit stop phase rather than you this week.
Yeah.
On the podium. So, you win some one week and you lose some another. So that's how it goes sometimes, I guess. Now, Toby.
Hello.
Well, you got the race victory in the first race. So can talk us through that. It looked like a much easier sprint race than you had last week of making your way through the field. It looked a bit more like the kind of races that we were seeing last season. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so I'll be the first to admit that I had some good luck in that race. But you get some good luck. You get good luck in some races. You get bad luck in others. There was contact on lap 1, which put me in front of Roller, Corey, and Medal. And then after that, again, there's just constant contact in front.
Well, everyone was ahead of you, so.
Well, yeah, that's sort of it. There was constant contact in front, so I think I got up to about 4th or 5th just by keeping it on track and not making mistakes. I had a bit of a bearing moment with Ham going side by side into the triple right-hander. So yeah, I definitely got a little bit scared on that one. And then it was just a case of getting past the front 3. And I knew that based on my pace of Pluto just before I overtook Matt, that if I got in front I should be able to pull away. Luckily managed to get out of Matt's DRS, I think within the first lap, and it's just a case of pulling away really. Except unlucky to Medal because he had brilliant pace and he could have very easily picked up all 39 points today. With that contact and such. But no, it's good to finally get a win on the board. I've had P2 in every single session so far this season. I've 6 sessions and 5 of them I've finished second. So it's good to get a win on the board.
Yeah.
Again, still second in the championship, 1 point off again.
Yeah, that's another question I have to say is that, of course, we had misfortune of Corey. I mean, that's just that kind of thing. I mean, F2's the absolute worst in terms of if you disconnect, that's pretty much your weekend over, really. When it comes to the sprint race, of course, factoring in as well. Yeah. But yet we have Medal as well. So what are you thinking future rounds in terms of this championship fight? Of Corey and Medal, are you looking kind of at them both equally, or one more than the other? Like, how do you think things are going to play out a bit more, or even Benster as well? Benster's probably ahead of Corey now, I imagine.
I think honestly, you've got to take it round by round at this point. I think in Bahrain, me and Corey were definitely the top 2, and then Medal all day of practice. Obviously, you saw in qualifying, you saw in the sprint, and you saw in the feature. Was comfortably the quickest today. So I don't think it'd be fair to write anybody off at this stage. And again, you've got people like Pluto, who in pre-season was absolutely killing it. So it could genuinely go right down to the wire. I think
that's what we want to
I've
see.
just got to be consistent at the moment. I'm not taking too many risks. Obviously, I lost 2 wins at the final corner in Bahrain. I could have gain an extra 9 points off that. I could probably been slightly more aggressive today. But I'm just trying to keep it consistent. Obviously, I've won 2 championships. The 3rd is the dream, but I've achieved what I wanted to in this division. So it's just a case of enjoying myself and enjoying the racing around me, basically.
So you're going to let some other people win, is what you're saying.
This sounds like a retirement speech
No,
to me.
no, that's not going to happen.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, we now move on to the person that was just playing quicker than Toby, and he absolutely did not let him win. He just won because he's quicker. So what a Medal. Firstly, first Feature 2 race victory. I feel like that's where most of the attention should go already to your weekend. So, firstly, well done. Secondly, describe kind of that final lap especially, because I personally thought when Toby had that DRS in the final lap that he'd maybe played that a little bit better, but yet you still managed to get the race victory. So talk us through it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I I went into that final corner thinking I was kind of hoping to pull more of a gap on him. To just I knew from previous laps that from about 7-8 attempts back he couldn't get close enough. But in the end, we were quite fairly sort of balanced, really. Like tyre wear was very similar. I think my saving race today was genuinely just the last sector. If it wasn't for the last sector, I think he would have had me. To be honest, I think he would have had it in the bag. But yeah, no, I did all I could to just try and hold him back and not make it too much of a scrap. But yeah, I'm happy that in the end that I just about got enough of the elbows out and defended the position really. But I'm just got other practice, particularly in quali, showed in the end, which is good. That's the main thing about it. It's not a missed opportunity or anything. It's got quite a lot out of it, and then we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what this brings go forward.
Yeah, leave the championship now. Do you think you can win it this season? Just a simple yes or no answer. I don't want any convoluted bullshit. Just yes or no. That's what we like to hear. Yes, that's good stuff. It should be an excellent fight. It should be a good fight from now to the end of the season, and the first driver as well to pick up over 30 points in a race round. So Corey or Toby did not manage it last week, so that's got to feel good as well, doesn't it? Good haul of points, and on to the next race, which is it next week or is there a week break? I don't actually know.
It's a week break.
I really should. Yeah, it's a week break, and what's the next track?
Qatar and Mexico.
The next track.
New format.
Yes, the next track is our new format. How are you both feeling about the new format? The 2 one-shots and 2 races, a lot more points on offer with the 2 feature races in one weekend. What are your thoughts on a race in USA and Mexico in one race weekend in F2?
Scary.
I think it'll be good because, not being rude, but for us, like the guys at the top, we're not going to have the longevity of a sprint to worry about. Yeah. We can just bolt off, and then we'll score the points. It'll be rude to anyone else, but obviously, yeah, no, I think it will sort of bring more fighting with our top guys probably.
Yeah, I think
and a lot more points.
It'll be. I think definitely more forgiving, as Neville said. Like, if either of us have a situation like what Corey had today, for example, you can still turn up to the second race, get pole, get the win, and still come away with 27 points.
That's very true. That is very true.
As for me, the tracks themselves aren't going to be my strongest. Mexico, especially, I'm expecting to be about 7th.
Mexico.
But I've just got to try and stay close enough for that title fight, really.
No, that was to be my question. Is how are you guys going to prioritise practice for these two? Considering it's 2 completely different tracks, are you going to focus on one, or are you trying to balance it across the 2?
I've got an F2 race, not 2. I think no, got one on Saturday for Qatar, so that'll be the majority of mine.
Is this just following the SLR calendar?
No.
Yeah, Qatar on Saturday. I think we've got Bahrain the week before. We've got Qatar this week.
Yeah, Spain the week after.
Something suspicious going on.
I've got Silverstone tomorrow. That's for about 2 months' time.
Oh gosh.
But I love Qatar though. In these cars, for some reason, I get along with them quite well in this game. I've already tried it and I absolutely love them. Love it. So hopefully that's gonna be good. And then got to work on Mexico. I don't know where that's gonna be, but I'll always back myself. I think, especially after today. Yeah.
See what happens. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and please join us again for later races later on.